Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Today, an NCAA record 338th consecutive sellout crowd here at Memorial Stadium. Rutgers in town with a 5-2 record. Nebraska at 6-1. They are a game out of first place right now in the Big Ten West. Here's what to watch for today, folks. We've got one of the top rushers in the country in Ameer Abdullah, the first Husker, Joey, with 3 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, he's outstanding, and he is the key to this Nebraska offense. When he's going, Tommy Armstrong is going, and they just are a better football team when they get Ameer Abdullah off.
Rutgers has an experienced quarterback in Gary Nova. He is their career passing touchdown leader. A look to add to that list today.
Yeah, when he's comfortable in the pocket, he plays as well as anybody. He has to take care of the ball today for Rutgers to have a chance to win.
And he'll probably need eyes in the back of his head as well, because Randy Greger will be chasing him all day long. He is a projected top 5 NFL pick.
Yeah, he is worth the price of admission. He's a guy on defense that is fun to watch. 6'6", 250, an athletic kid all over the field.
Nebraska won the toss. They have deferred. Rutgers will receive, and we can report as we take a look at Kyle Flood, now in his 3rd season at Rutgers, 20-13 overall. He has suspended a couple of players for a violation of team rules. One of them is their starting receiver and kick returner, Janarian Grant. So immediately an impact. We do expect to see Grant available again in the second half, but it is Josh Hicks, a true freshman, and Justin Goodwin, who are the deep men to field kicks here in the first half. And it is Hicks who will bring it out of the end zone. And he ends up losing about 7 net yards because they're back inside the 20 to start things off. And welcome to Memorial Stadium. Beth Mowins along with Joey Galloway. Paul Carcaterra is also with us this afternoon. The saying here in Lincoln, Joey, is fear Ameer. Ameer Abdullah, one of the top running backs in the country. And you think a big reason why this is probably the team to beat in the Big Ten West.
Yeah, I do. When he's going, when he's at his top of his game and their offense is getting him the big play in the secondary, then it makes Tommy Armstrong better, it makes their passing game better, and it makes them a more balanced football team. And when you look at the western side of the Big Ten, if these guys can stay balanced, have the best chance to win.
West is still up for grabs. There's still over a month to go in the season, and the first play, a handoff to Desmond Peoples. Of course, they are still without their starter Paul James, done for the year with an ACL, so a lot has fallen into the lap of Gary Nova. And Kyle Flood, he says he is the perfect guy for the job, the perfect guy to bring them into the Big Ten era, as he makes his 36th career start today. Over to the air, and he hits his fullback Burton out to the 30-yard line. They'll pick up the first down. Well, how about Gary Nova, their career leader in touchdown throws? He had a strong showing at home in a Michigan win, Joey, but also rough outings and losses to Ohio State and Penn State. It's all about the decision-making today in hostile territory for Nova.
Absolutely. It's going to be up to this offensive line to give him a chance to throw the ball, keep him comfortable in the pocket. That's when he's at his best.
They struggled on the road last week at the Shoe against Ohio State, looking for a better start, and they are off to one thus far. The favorite target is Leonte Carew. That's his 35th catch of the year. Josh Mitchell on the coverage.
Yeah, you can see Mitchell in the bump and run coverage. It's going to be key for Rutgers. Can you beat the bump and run coverage in Nebraska? They're going to be in your face. You see Carew get off, get some space. Nice job getting to the sideline, giving Nova an area to throw the ball to. Nice, easy play, nice, easy throw for Nova.
3rd in the league in yardage, 2nd in receiving touchdowns. What was the quote yesterday from John Papuchis? We press coming off the bus, so we expect a lot of press coverage today from the Husker defense. Nice hole off the right side for Peoples into Nebraska territory to the 45. Really critical for them to establish the run. They were out of it quickly against Ohio State last week. They need to alleviate some pressure on Nova.
And that's the key, is keep Nova comfortable. The running game does that. It clears up coverage. On offense, when you can run the football, it makes the linebackers, it makes the safeties decide where they are, and it just clears up everything for your quarterback to read when it's pass time.
Peoples scored his first 2 career touchdowns in the loss last week. He'll get the call once again to the 40-yard line. Rutgers moving it effectively here early against a Nebraska defense. We should point out, Joey, they got the black shirts this week in practice, which is always a big moment.
Yeah, anybody that's known anything about the tradition and the Nebraska Cornhuskers and their defense, they know about the black shirts. Came out last week, played a really good second half of football versus Northwestern, brought it back, got back to Nebraska defense, and they brought the black shirts, and these guys were extremely excited.
Brazilian Simas to the near side. Nova will run it to Peoples, and that time some good pressure, the push up front from Malik Collins to bust that play up. Over on that sideline, of course, his background is in defense. Bo Pelini now in his 7th season. He's 3rd all-time here in career wins behind Tom Osborne and Bob Devaney. And it's interesting to note that 9 wins in each of the last 6 seasons. Only Pelini and Nick Saban have put up those numbers in the Power 5 conferences. And 2nd and 10, pressure coming. The pass is away, incomplete. He was looking downfield for Truzilli. Again, it was Mitchell on the coverage.
And this brings up 3rd and 10. And this is where you keep your eyes on Randy Gregory, the defensive end for Nebraska. This will put some more linebackers on the field, get some of the big line off, move around a little bit, and now they'll have a chance to come after Nova. They set up the 3rd and 10. This is where they want to be defensively. Now let's see what they do, where they move their pieces around, and if Rutgers can handle it on the offensive side of the ball and give Nova a chance to throw a pass.
Rutgers will have his hands down in the turf to the top of your screen. Coming off the left edge, good protection, Nova. The pass is caught down to the 31-yard line. It'll depend on the spot. Leondi Carew brought down by Zaire Anderson. Looks like they're going to be a couple inches shy.
We just talked about protecting Nova, giving him a chance. You can see Gregory coming to the right side of your screen. Still a nice pocket, though. Has a chance to read the coverage, find a receiver, finds Carew. Now let Carew get some yards for you. Setting up a 4th and 1. They're on the road. Go for it. See if you can make a statement early.
Peoples trying to burrow his way inside the 30. Still waiting to see where the placement is. The ball is outside the 30, and that appears to be short. Gregory and Santos were the first guys there, and the officials will not even bring out the chains. A stop for the black shirts on 4th down. Santos able to wrap him up low, and then Gregory came in high. So 9 plays and over 4 minutes goes for naught for Rutgers. And it's our first look at Tommy Armstrong and the Husker O. The sophomore out of Texas, 10 touchdowns, 5 picks on the season. And now I think the officials are going to go ahead and take a look upstairs at the spot of the
ruling
football.
on the field was that the runner was short of a 1st down. The previous play is under further review.
They need to get inside the 30.
I like the decision to go for it on 4th down in this situation. I think if you're Rutgers, you're on the road, you know that Nebraska's a bigger, stronger team than you are. Take a chance to make a statement here. They go right at Gregory, the talented defensive end, the athletic defensive end, but he's lighter. He's 250 pounds, so go at him when you have these short runs and then see if you can make it. Huge call coming up by these officials.
It's number 7, Malik Collins, right there in the middle, who stood up Chris Muller, the offensive lineman, and it appeared that Collins was able to keep him outside the 30.
I don't know how you would change the calls. There's so many bodies in there. It's tough to see.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It'll be 1st down, Nebraska.
The referee today, Mike Cannon. Thomas Kissinger is the replay official. Appeared to have gotten that one right, so a nice 4th down stop. And the defensive number 4, Gregory, exits, and the offensive number 4 comes on. Over 2,000 yards of total offense already this year for Tommy Armstrong. That's the 2nd best start in school history. Only Joe Gans in 2008 has been better for the early part of the season, and his first pass is caught by Jordan Westerkamp, first down.
I like the play call. Everyone's expecting Amir Abdullah to have his footprint on this game today, and he will absolutely. Fake the run, nice quick hitting pass by Armstrong, get it out of his hands quickly, guy over the middle, nice start, get you across the 50 in one play, going in to score.
Pickup of 20 there. Westerkamp and Kenny Bell, the top two targets for Armstrong this year. Bell is the wide out to the bottom of the screen. They'll run it with Abdullah to the left. The nice cutback slices his way inside the 45, and a nice chunk gain. Quentin Gauze with the tackle. The story for the Cornhuskers, as we've come to recognize year in and year out, they run the ball really well, Joey, with Abdullah leading the way.
Absolutely, and Abdullah is probably a top 3 running back in the entire country right now, and it's his ability to cut back, his explosion.
Out of the pistol, the read option, Armstrong will keep, and he is wrapped up immediately and thrown down by middle backer Kevin Snyder.
And we just talked about Amir Abdullah, and what makes him so good is not just his speed, not just his explosion, but he's 195 pounds, but he runs like a guy that's 210. I mean, he will go up in the hole, he'll move the pile, and I think that's what makes him special. A guy his size with his speed, they can also run with power.
4th best rushing yardage numbers in the country. He has 4 touchdowns last week, a career high for Amir. Armstrong on the rollout. Toss is completed to Alonzo Moore, the sophomore out of Winfield, Louisiana, and that's good for a first down. We referenced Kenny Bell as well. The senior out of Boulder, Colorado, is another hot target as the catch is made by Moore, but Bell has an opportunity today to pass a couple of records and move to #1 all time in receptions and in receiving yards. We will track those for you today. Needs just 6 catches and 70 yards. The receiver screen to Bell, gets a nice block by Westerkamp. Close to another first down. Pickup of 9 for Kenny Bell.
9-yard gain brings up 2nd and 1 from the 29-yard line.
Fast tempo here for Nebraska in its first possession. Abdullah hauled down by Dewani Mara up front. Offensive coordinator Tim Beck, when we talked to him yesterday, Joey, talked about all the window dressing and the thousands of different formations they'll show, and now a little bit of a tempo change as well.
Yeah, and you have an undersized defense on Rutgers' side of the ball. You're going to pound on these guys, you're going to lean on these guys, and you're going to throw that running game at them. You're trying to wear them down early in this game with your tempo.
Abdullah up the gut, gets the first down on the 27-yard line. Senior out of Homewood, Alabama. It's been well documented. He wasn't highly recruited as a running back coming out of high school, and Bo Pelini and the offensive staff just loved the work ethic and what a terrific young man that he was, first and foremost, and certainly saw the talent on tape. He has been a terrific fit here at Nebraska. He'll get the call again. Slices his way back to the inside, and a flag is down as Abdullah goes down at the 22. Flag coming out of the secondary. Oh, a 5-yard gain stand here.
There is no foul for the play for a chop block. Both of the blocks were high.
Cannot go at a guy one low and one high. And Mike Cannon pointing out that they were both high. So
Apparently the official changed his mind and said that I thought that was low, but no, it was high.
2nd and 5. Abdullah's offset. Armstrong adjusts. He'll throw it to Moore, who couldn't hang on, dropped it at the 10. And another flag right in the middle of the field.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Defense number 95. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So instead of third down, Kenneth Kirksey with the infraction. That'll set up Nebraska with a first down. 95 in white. And there it is right there on number 56 in
Yeah, you
red.
can see it right in this area. Hands just get a little high.
Mark Pelini, the senior center out of Youngstown, Ohio, the coach's nephew. And now some movement up front. It'll be interesting to track Joey as we move along.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Offensive coordinator Tim Beck talking about how the offense is user-friendly for Tommy Armstrong, and he can make a lot of plays even when the defense may be aligned properly. We did notice him change the play on that last snap.
Yeah, and it's been user-friendly so far in this game. You can see the play-action pass setting up nice, wide-open wide receivers for Tommy Armstrong to throw to.
He's going to keep it. Armstrong dancing down the middle and then cuts it to the outside. Touchdown, Huskers. The black shirts come up with a fourth down stop, and Nebraska marches down the field, and Tommy Armstrong takes it in from 16 yards out as they go 69 yards in 9 plays in just under 4 minutes. Extra point for Drew Brown is good. Tommy Armstrong on the read option, hangs on. Nice move to get to the outside and wins the foot race. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Huskers get a fourth down stop, and then they roll down the field. Tommy Armstrong scoring from 16 yards out. Hey, if you missed it, video of that touchdown is now posted on the SportsCenter app, which is available on your mobile devices and tablets whenever you need it. 9 plays and 69 yards, 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Good balance of Abdullah on the ground, a few nice passes from Armstrong, and then the footwork from Tommy to take it in himself. Important possession coming up here for Rutgers. After last week at Ohio State at the Shoe, they gave up a couple of quick scores and were down 35-7 by halftime. And an important aspect of today's game for Kyle Flood was to maintain their poise early and stay close. Again, with Grant suspended for the first half, this is Hicks, and this time a better return out to the 29-yard line. Rutgers ball when we return. A spectacular day here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Another sellout crowd. So far, so good for the Huskers. Goodwin's in. 1st and 10 for Rutgers. They're down 7-0 early on. Justin Goodwin now in at tailback behind Gary Nova. First time they moved it across midfield and then got stopped on a fourth down play around the Nebraska 30-yard line. This was Goodwin off the right side, wrapped up just outside the 35 and down to Paul Carcaterra.
When Nebraska defensive end Randy Gregory's name is mentioned, the word disruptive often follows. His physical gifts are hard to go unnoticed. At 6'6" with a massive wingspan and explosive first step, he gets after the quarterback. But defensive coordinator John Papuchis told me Gregory does it all. He embraces the runs. Teams will spend all week, Beth, wondering where he is, but it's a waste of time, according to the coach. They'll move Gregory around all day long, and he'll continue to blow up plays.
That time Rutgers ran away from Randy. 15 sacks in 19 career games for the junior college transfer. He's been nicked up a bit, limited through their first 3 games due to a knee issue. He's been back and forceful since then. He's to the near side here on 3rd and 1. Over to Goodwin. May have gotten there just outside the 39. It'll depend on the spot. Now an update from the studio.
All right, bet time for the Dr. Pepper Conference update. We'll stay in the Big Ten, and well, I tell you what, Gophers are unbeaten in Big Ten play, but trailing in Champaign, Robert Smith.
Yeah, this Illinois offense, obviously with the backup quarterback Riley O'Toole, with Wes Lund out, putting the Gophers in a little bit of a hole there.
Gophers got to come back again this week. That game over on ESPN, you bet.
Back to Chris. Rutgers did pick up the first down, so they'll move the sticks. From their own 39, that's the tight end Croft in motion. They'll use him as another blocker for Goodwin. Slammed to the turf by Anderson at the 41. Zaire's the senior from Philly.
We know how big and strong these Nebraska guys are in the middle of their line. And you can see from this hit, I mean, these guys are flying around in there. That Zaire Anderson coming in from the linebacker spot. If you're Rutgers, you've got to gain more than 100 yards on first down. It's going to set up these 2nd and longs, and you do not want to see 3rd and long. So this is an important play to try to get 4 or 5 yards just to start that 3rd and long situation.
Over the pass, popped up in the air and incomplete. David Santos almost was able to reel it in, but here we go again with a 3rd and long, now 3rd and 8. Nebraska will get their speed group onto the field, and they'll move Randy Gregory around on that front line.
That ball goes in the air. It's anybody's ball. Those ones are the kind that are scary. We've seen earlier that, Randy Gregory earlier this season got an interception in those kind of situations when it pops up in the middle of the field. Offensively, you're always taught a receiver, always try to bat the ball down. Never want to let it get above your head, above your shoulder pads, because then it's anybody's ball.
The injured player is number 55, Batim Bujari, the 5th-year senior center. And you saw a quick flash there of their backup, number 69, Derek Nelson, getting ready just in case he has to enter the game here. An injury for Rutgers, and we'll take a timeout.
Football is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots and in part by Buick. 5 expectation-shattering models. Another reason to experience the new Buick.
A Football Friday tailgate yesterday making some noise, and they're making even more now. 3rd down and 8.
There's Gregory standing up, Beth. This is where you got to keep your eye on him, then move him around so he gets lost in the protection once he can get to the quarterback.
Good protection. Carew with the catch and a first down to the 35-yard line. They ran the quick slant knowing the heat was coming, Joey, and they bit it.
This is what we talked about, Nebraska moving Gregory around, standing him up. You can see right in the middle of your screen, and they pick him up. They find him, little hand to the face, little face mask. Sometimes that happens when you're in the line, but if you can protect, give Nova a chance to get this ball out. He finds Carew.
23 yards to Leonte. That was with the backup center. And now the loss of a couple of yards here. How about more on Leonte Carew? Here's Paul.
Well, Beth, head coach Kyle Flood loves his star wide receiver. He said he's aggressive and physical going to the ball, as good as any player in the country in that regard. You saw him just snag that one.
Carew thus far, 3 catches, 50 yards. He is halfway to the school record for touchdown receptions.
They're going to need him to be big also. We talked about the man-to-man bump and run coverage outside. Carew's going to have to be that guy that finds a way to make a play outside and bail Nova out when they bring the rush.
Nova play action, good protection, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Gary, who breaks a couple of tackles on his way down the sideline, and he stepped out of bounds. of the season for Nate Gary, as he takes it 27 yards the other way, and the Nebraska defense with a presence immediately.
And Cruz just coming across the field here, and you can see the safety bearing down as Jerry just coming downhill, reads the crossing route. The receiver coming across has got to do a better job of freezing the safety. You can tell his eyes are already back at the quarterback. That allows a safety to read that route and come downhill. If you're the receiver, come in, put your eyes on the safety, freeze him, and then break away across the field, and you'll be wide open.
Fourth down stop, and now a pick for the black shirts. Armstrong deep down the middle through the hands of Alonzo Moore.
This Rutgers defense is going to have to do something. They're going to have to either get after Armstrong, make him uncomfortable in the pocket, get some hits on him, because right now he's just too open. He just looks too comfortable in the pocket. This ball was dropped. He had another drop early, but he's throwing the ball very well. I like him as a quarterback. He's probably the best athletic quarterback in the Big Ten, and it's shown early in his game. They're allowing him to be comfortable in the pocket.
On second down, to the air again, snagged by Kenny Bell, who whirls down inside the 35 and a first down. An update from the studio.
All right, Beth Cotter along with Robert Smith. First off, let's talk about Maryland and Wisconsin with Joe Stave fighting Alex Erickson. Down the right sideline, hit it into the red zone, and Melvin Gordon will punch it in from there. Wisconsin on top, guys.
They are really low, by the way, in the studio. Abdullah around the edge and out of bounds. Steve Longa able to chase him out there.
Out of bounds by Molesky.
How about the group right now in the Big Ten? Amongst the rushing leaders in the country, Gordon, Coleman, Abdullah, and Cobb, 4 of the 6 guys nationwide that already have run for over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, and this is Big Ten rushing leaders, but I would take some of these guys over a lot of running backs in the entire country. I think they're that good. There's that kind of stable of running backs in the Big Ten.
Trying to keep. He's got a 16-yard touchdown run today. He'll get to the 25, and that's it.
Big play for this Rutgers defense. This was a third down. Nebraska's been moving the ball. They went down and scored 9 plays last drive. Rutgers has to find a way to get off the field. I expect to see some blitz here on third down. I expect to see some shifting, some movement up front. They're undersized, so they have to move around. They're not just going to run over this offensive line for Nebraska. So look for some blitz, look for some linebacker movement.
Showing blitz off the left side. And that's where they'll come from. Armstrong will throw the other way. Incomplete. Fires it over the top of Moore.
I like the defensive call. You have to get some guys on Armstrong. He just looks too comfortable right now. You know, even bringing the blitz there, he had a chance to get this ball out, but he realizes this blitz is coming. He knows he has to get this ball out, bring your coverage up, and make a play on third down, and just give your team a chance in this game, because if you just sit back, then you're going to be in trouble on defense if you're Rutgers.
42-yard attempt here for Drew Brown, the true freshman from South Lake, Texas. Within his range, he's got a long of 44 this year. Spot down, the kick is on its way, and the kick is no good. Missed opportunity for points off of the interception for Nebraska. It remains 7-0, 1:37 to go here in the first half. The 4th miss this season for Brown. And that takes a little air out of the building for the time being. On the Rutgers side, though, Kyle Flood loves it. Big stop, as you referenced, Joey, for that defensive unit.
Yeah, and they needed that. Talked about last week when they went into Ohio Stadium. He said they were a little bit in awe. They were in front of 106,000. Wanted to get off to a better start today. They're down 7. They needed that stop to get the ball back. Don't allow Nebraska to continue to put points on the board.
Peoples back in a tailback. He'll pick up a couple. Well, ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels, comes your way tonight from Death Valley. Undefeated Ole Miss heading down to LSU. 7:15 Eastern on ESPN and on the Watch ESPN app. Who's in for the college football playoff? Not just the SEC, but the SEC West banners flying proudly 4 teams in the top 5 in the AP poll. Peoples, short yards will set up another 3rd and long.
Yeah, and this seems to be the theme so far in this game with your Rutgers. You're getting yourself put in these 3rd longs. I understand trying to establish the run, but you have got to do something to gain more yards on 1st down. You may not be able to just run over this Nebraska defense. You got to be a little bit more creative, gain more yards, and stay out of these 3rd and longs.
Let's find Randy Gregory. He's standing up, looking like a middle linebacker right now. Now starting to back off a little bit. Trying the left side. Nova steps up. Gregory gives chase. And Nova's passes away, and it's caught. Big gainer for Rutgers. Carew darting down the sideline, and the cutback for the touchdown. The senior Gary Nova got away from Gregory, found Carew 71 yards later. They're looking to tie it up.
And you see the running back Burton paying attention to where Gregory is. He loops outside, Burton goes with him, and then this is Carew getting into the secondary. That's his 4th catch, 121 yards. Gets this one to the end zone. The key for this offense, can Carew find some space in this secondary to make plays when Nebraska brings the heat on 3rd down?
Rutgers continues to make plays with the long ball. Usually it's Andrew Zilli on the receiving end. This time it's Carew. And after the missed field goal at one end, the quick strike for Rutgers, and they are even here at Memorial Stadium with 10 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. Nova knows Randy is right on his heels, and he finds Carew, turns on the jets for Rutgers.
Welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska. Rutgers tied up with the home team, Nebraska Huskers, in the response by Gary Nova. Very impressive. Kyle Flood said after the 5-interception game against Penn State, the way he responded the next week told him everything he needed to know about Gary Nova as a leader. You saw the first pick of the game. I saw him on the sideline. He was confident. He was rallying the troops and got back on that field and hit a streaking Leonte Carew.
There have been so many ups and downs during the career of Gary Nova. He's been able to bounce back on so many occasions. And finding Carew, that's the 2nd time this year they've linked for better than 70 yards on a score. Out across the 30 on the return for Nebraska. Let's take a look at the latest dish, brought to you by the Dish Network. Got a full slate of games the rest of the day on the ESPN networks. How about Bo Wallace for Ole Miss, Amari Cooper at Bama, and J.T. Barrett. What a job that he has done as he takes the Buckeyes into Happy Valley.
Yeah, how impressive has he been since the Virginia Tech game, where they lose a game, but since then he's been outstanding. You look at those 3 guys. I think J.T. Barrett is by far the biggest surprise out of these guys in the way he's playing.
Armstrong on 1st down to Abdul. Nice slash back to the inside and out across the 40. Yeah, I don't know if many people preseason, Joey, would have thought we'd be talking more about J.T. Barrett than Christian Hackenberg going into this game coming later tonight.
And especially the way it started. Like I said, after the Virginia Tech game, everyone sort of thought, good boy, they're in trouble, but they've rebounded nicely.
End of the 1st quarter here at Memorial Stadium. After the early strike for Nebraska, Rutgers with a nice counter, and we are all even. And welcome back to Nebraska. 7 apiece. Rutgers and the Huskers all tied up through the 1st quarter of play. And 15 minutes where we actually saw Rutgers outgained Nebraska in that 1st quarter. Leonte Carew was huge. 4 catches, 121 yards, including the 71-yard touchdown run after the pass from Nova. Back the Husker offense. Abdullah. Out across the 40 to the 43. Second all-time here in rushing. Only Mike Rozier has run for more yardage in his career. They are the only two guys that over 4,000 yards. He has an outside shot if he continues at his current torrid pace of threaten Rozier's single season record, which is up over 2,000 yards. On 3rd and 1. Abdullah spins to pick up the yardage necessary to keep the drive alive.
And those are tough when you're dealing with a guy like Amir Abdullah and you see a guy with this kind of vision, and then when he sees a hole, the ability to take off and hit this hole. That's what separates him from a lot of guys in the country. Has the vision, but the ability to get there, the spurt, the speed, the quickness, and then he can break the long run.
Armstrong makes the adjustment here on 1st down. Kenny Bell's down to the bottom of the screen. They'll run Abdullah the other way, trying to get to the edge. The nice cut back at midfield, and Abdullah with a burst, and he's gone. We talk about the elusiveness of Abdullah. Lorenzo Waters just found out up close and personal right here.
Yeah, and then the spurt. Watch the spurt. When he decides where he's going, he gets there better than any other running back in the country.
53 yards for Abdullah. PAT is good, and it's 14-7 Nebraska. Amir now 9 carries, 86 yards in the touch. Waters left in the dust as Abdullah finds Bader.
Chris Cotter back in Bristol with Taco Bell studio update. This update should be pleasing to Nebraska fans. Riley O'Toole, we saw him pass for a touchdown earlier. How about taking it in on his own? 9 yards out, 14-3. Illinois on top of Minnesota. That game over on ESPNU. Now back to Memorial Stadium with Beth and Joey.
Well, Chris, we've got a lot of Illinois fans here today hoping for a Minnesota loss, and if Nebraska can win, that would put them into a tie at the top of the Big Ten West standings. Amir Abdullah with his 3rd run of the season for over 50 yards. He takes it 53 to the house in a 14-7 lead. Janarian Grant, once again, the usual kick return man, suspended for the first half here for Rutgers. So this is Hicks out across the 20 and gets out to the 26. Let's revisit the touchdown for Rutgers and how they kept an eye on Gregory.
Yeah, you can just see Burton, the running back, find Gregory, find where he is, clear across the offensive front to make sure that Gregory doesn't have a shot to get at your quarterback. Nova. That's what they have to do. It's going to be tough to block Gregory one-on-one. So you've got to bring a back, maybe a tight end, but you can see the focus. He stayed with him the entire time just to give Nova a chance, and give him a chance, and he finds a touchdown.
Michael Burton didn't get much of Randy, but he got just enough.
Yeah, just getting away sometimes. That's what I used to do when I was blocking.
Sometimes?
Yeah, just getting away.
Good pitch to Goodwin. He'll pick up a couple of yards.
But there it goes. That first down play is killing Rutgers.
Yeah.
It is making their life difficult because of the lack of yardage on 1st down. They've got to start getting more yards on 1st down. It's going to make 2nd and 3rd easier, but that's the key, is how good can you be on the 1st down?
Look at the difference on 1st down today. Under 5 for Rutgers, over 13 for Nebraska. 2nd and 10. Play action Nova. And the rollout, diving grab at the 40, and it's hauled in by the tight end, Tyler Croft. 1st down, Rutgers.
Outstanding catch here by Croft. You want to get Nova outside the pocket, let him move around, let him throw the ball. You need these kind of catches. This is a tight end laying out off the ground, complete body extension, and snap that one out the air.
First catch for the tight end, who was their leading receiver last year at 43 catches. His 11th of this season, 1st and 10. Both now in motion. They'll try and run it on 1st down. Maybe pick up 3 that time. Just to revisit the Rutgers running game, they had Paul James through the first part of the season, went down with an ACL injury. Savon Huggins, one of the top recruits in Rutgers history, who has been trying to find his way in and out of injuries. He has not been able to get on the field this year. So it's all Goodwin and Peoples right now at tailback. And maybe Robert Martin, the true freshman. And it is, in fact, Robert now getting an opportunity. The cutback runs into his own offensive lineman and also Randy Gregory, and that's not the spot to be. When you're an O-lineman, Taj Alexander, you don't want to be the guy that makes the first hit, and he does right there.
He does, because Gregory, the defensive end, jumped around. He just jumped out of the way, and he just sort of got lost in the pocket and runs into his running back.
And this has been such a solid group, by the way, up front. 130 career starts for the Scarlet Knights. They've been together as starters all year long, and now they'll try and carve out 5 more yards to move the chains. And Nova needs a timeout.
Charge timeout. Rutgers, their first.
11:13 to go here in the first half. It's a 14-7 Nebraska lead.
ESPN College Football is brought to you by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
It's the Sioux Strength and Conditioning Room, all a part of the Tom and Nancy Osborne Athletic Complex here at Nebraska. Sioux, one of their great linemen here. The 3rd down defense for Nebraska, 6th best in the country this year, but so far Rutgers is 3 of 4, including a touchdown on their last 3rd. Nova with pressure up the middle, incomplete. And they'll send the punter on. Kevin Williams was the guy bringing the pressure.
And you know, if you're the other defensive lineman for Nebraska, you're Kevin Williams, you know you're going to get the single man block because they have to pay attention to Gregory. And if you get singled up, you've got to beat your guy man to man to get to the quarterback.
Demoy Pearsonell is the deep man. He's got 2 returns for touchdowns this year. The freshman trying to get to the outside. Oh, he's going to be fun to watch over the next several years. Out to the 35. 10:54 to go in the half. And more Amir Abdullah when we come back. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium here in Nebraska. 14-7, the Huskers on top. Amir Abdullah with a 53-yard touchdown run. He is back out looking for more with this Husker attack. 9 carries, 86 yards. It's his 8th straight game with a touchdown for this offense that under Tim Beck is scoring 41 points per game. They are off to their best start through 7 games since 1995. Lighten up the scoreboard. Armstrong keeps and throws to Westerkamp out across midfield. 1st down, Nebraska. Down to Paul.
And nothing surprises Bo Pelini when it comes to Amir Abdullah. He said recently, if they give the Heisman Trophy to somebody for not only what they do as a football player, but as a man and a student athlete, then Amir has to be that guy. And Beth and Joey, everyone you speak to around Lincoln, glowing remarks about this guy as a person.
Yeah, they were so impressed during the recruiting process. Now it's gotten even better since he's been on campus here, Lincoln. And the hand for his teammate Jordan Westerkamp, who was slow to get up at that last catch. And certainly he will go down, Will Abdullah, as one of the all-time greats here. 118 all-purpose yards away now from becoming 3rd best in Big Ten history. He's already the top guy here at Nebraska. But the only 2 guys ahead of him would be Ron Dane and Archie Griffin, and there are a pair of Heisman Trophy guys. Abdullah will try and narrow the gap. Another great burst from Amir. A foot race, the 10-5, touchdown Abdullah. 48 yards. The fans certainly agree with Paul Carcaterra's report, and the head coach, Bo Pelini, got a terrific block from the center, Ryan Reeves, to spring him. And now Abdullah on the day, touchdowns of 48 and 53 yards. He's already up to a $134 on the ground. The PAT is good, and it's a 2-touchdown lead. Alex Lewis and Mike Mowdy also in on the fun up front for Nebraska.
Great blocking up front, and then watch Amir Abdullah just being patient. There it is. Put the foot in the ground and get upfield. And once he does that, you can see the separation. You see the quickness, and that's what, again, separates certain running backs from others. When you can put your foot in the ground at this moment where you see where you want to go and it opens up in that spurt. There's 3 or 4 guys for Rutgers within arm distance thinking they have a shot at Amir Abdullah until he decides to turn it on, and then he leaves everyone in the dust.
His 36th career touchdown. And from the other perspective for Rutgers, how about what they're looking at from the defensive standpoint? This is the 3rd game in a row with a dual threat quarterback. They face Gardner and Barrett, now Armstrong. And this today begins a stretch where they'll face Abdullah, then Melvin Gordon and Coleman at Indiana, as they are welcome to the Big Ten Conference. Out across the 20, and let's get you back to the studio for an update.
All right, Beth, let's talk about North Carolina and Virginia for a moment in the ACC. Virginia already up 7-0. Little trituration here. Miles Gooch back to the quarterback. Grayson Lambert gets it inside the 10. They would punch it in from there, but it's 14-7. Virginia on top of North Carolina. And in the Big Ten, Wisconsin adding to their lead against Maryland. Melvin Gordon, who else? Takes it in from 1 yard out. His 2nd touchdown of the day. It is now 17-0. Wisconsin over Maryland. Beth, Joey?
Thank you, Chris. Gordon, another guy who's already over 1,000 yards on the season. He had 4 touchdowns against Illinois last week, getting back to work today. And Nova under pressure, and down he goes, sacked by Malik Collins on 1st down. Loss of 7 on the play.
Yeah, that's Malik Collins. He gets the one-on-one block. Defensive tackles are always taught, if you have 1 set of hands on you, you have to dominate. If you get 2 sets of hands on you, you hold your ground and take up space. These guys have been pretty good so far in this game. Collins, Valentine, when they get 1 set of hands, 1 guy blocking them, they've been able to get pressure on Nova.
Over the draw to Peoples, nowhere to go, and it is 3rd and forever. And they will be able, Nebraska will, to unleash Randy Gregory again. 2 straight plays of losing yardage. And where is number 4 in red? Randy will start out initially at right end.
Here he is up top with his hand on the ground. I think that's where he's the most effective at defensive end.
Triple team. And incomplete on the throw. Rutgers had 3 guys on Gregory that time.
That's the kind of respect that Gregory's going to get. He's that kind of rush defensive end. You've got to know where he is. Now on the other side, Nova, as your quarterback, has to realize he's protected in this situation. He has time to stand in the pocket, let the play develop. Don't always get into a rush assuming that you're going to be pressured. At times, trust your guys to block the defense, which they did very well there.
A tackle, a tight end, and a fullback all helping out on Randy Gregory, but they are still able to force the punt. Pearsonell wrapped up immediately and taken down at the 40. Well, Saturday night football comes your way from Happy Valley. It's Ohio State in town to meet Penn State. J.T. Barrett, Christian Hackenberg, the two quarterbacks going head-to-head. That comes your way tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Excuse me, that one will be on ABC, Joey, and it's offense versus defense.
Yeah, and if Penn State's going to have a chance in this game, Hackenberg has got to take care of the football. He's got to be more accurate. He has to move the offense. Ohio State's on a roll right now. You know, offensively, J.T. Barrett has been outstanding. They've been pretty good, and Penn State's going to have to find a way to get some stops. But slow down J.T. Barrett. He's on fire.
4 straight games of over 50 points for that Buckeye offense. Armstrong off the punt fake. Throws that one out of bounds.
Joey, you mentioned J.T. Barrett and filling in for Braxton Miller. That's not an easy task, and I know you love the maturation of the young quarterback. What's impressed you most about the way he's handled himself?
Well, I think the start. I think when you watch the Virginia Tech game, everyone thought, you know, this is going to be a team that loses 3 or 4 games, and because Braxton Miller went out, here comes a J.T. Barrett that nobody has seen play football, goes against Virginia Tech and struggles, and he's just improved every single week since then, and people are no longer thinking that this is a 3-loss team because J.T. Barrett's been that good.
Armstrong on second down, out of the flat. Moore, did he get foot down? No, incomplete. 3rd and 10. Barrett, since the struggles against Virginia Tech, responsible for 20 touchdowns and just the 1 turnover. He's had the best QBR in the country. And did Moore get the catch and the foot?
Yeah,
the heel's coming out of bounds.
How about the arm strength by Armstrong to fire that ball that far to the sideline? There's one thing that has impressed me when I've watched Armstrong on film, it's his arm strength.
They've converted 3 of 4. Armstrong pass is picked off. Threw it to Anthony Chaffee after his receiver went out of bounds. And the turnover for Rutgers. I believe it was Kenny Bell who ended up out of the play, and it was only Chaffee there waiting. Sixth pick of the season for Tommy.
You look down low, receiver just gets pushed out of bounds, and from this time, I really don't know what Armstrong's looking at this point. It's almost like he thought that they had on white jerseys. He throws it right to Chaffee, easy interception.
First career pick for Chaffee. Goodwin back in at tailback. And run to the right side, wrapped up right at the 45-yard line. Josh Banderas, the middle linebacker. You know, we talked about the black shirts going out. 16 guys got them, including Josh Banderas, but he decided not to wear his this week. He says, I still have work to do to earn mine. Getting a little closer with a play like that.
Second down and 9 from the 46-yard line.
Good sophomore from right here in Lincoln. It's 2nd and 9. Hit as he throws, incomplete. That was Randy Gregory again, rolling off the edge to bring him down. Paul.
You know that tradition of wearing the black shirt after the defense plays at an elite level. 28 yards in that second half against Northwestern. That sealed the deal. The 16 player, one guy who wanted it, Malik Collins. He said when he saw it in his locker, he was smiling, just cheesing all over the locker room.
With a sophomore from Kansas City. Well, if he's a Royals fan, he's having one heck of a week. Third and long again. Pass downfield, incomplete. Overthrown John Simmons.
I think Nova just has to take his time a little bit. You know, I think when you face a guy like Randy Gregory, you'll see this pass rush, and you know you got a double team, and you know he's coming, but he sometimes gets blocked also. And right now it looks like Nova's in a hurry on these third downs. Looks like he's in a rush as if he thinks he's going to get pressure, but the last 2 third down, he's had a chance to stand in the pocket. He's missed his last 4 throws, just needs to relax a little bit.
Running situation again. Pearsonell, nice boot. He's chased back inside his 5, let it bounce, and it comes back into play. Took a Rutgers turn. They'll down it at the 6 after it appeared to be heading into the end zone. The punt from Tim Gleason. 48 yards. Sets Nebraska back. Defensive lineman Darius Hamilton trying to fire up the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They're down a couple of touchdowns, 7:19 to go, and that unit is pressed back into service to try and slow down Amir Abdullah. He's over 100 yards rushing for the 23rd time in his career, the 7th time this season in 8 games. And he's got 2 long touchdown runs of 53 and 48 yards. It is Abdullah by himself in the end zone. Stepping over some downed linemen, gets out across the 10. How about the elusiveness of Amir today, Joey?
Yeah, and you see when he has a defensive back lineup by himself out in space, you expect Amir to win that battle. And then this one, he puts his foot around, he beats 3 guys. It just wasn't the one. This time he goes 3 guys. I mean, that's 11 carries for 139 yards because he has the ability to see that hole and hit it and get through it to break off a big run.
Well, on his way towards another 200-yard rushing day. He's got 3 of those this season as well. Able to put the helmet down and get close to that first down marker out at the 16-yard line. Darius Hamilton, who we just saw urging his teammates with the tackle for Rutgers.
Rutgers is going to have to start bringing these safeties down to the box to try to slow down this run game of Nebraska. Bring them in there, take your shots, make Nebraska, make Tommy Armstrong beat you out wide throwing football. But right now, I would not allow Amir Abdullah to just continue to have this much space running the ball.
Abdullah met by Snyder at the line of scrimmage, reaches out to the 18-yard line, and he's got the first down.
And that's what the difference. When you look at Amir Abdullah, we talk about the speed, we talk about the explosiveness, but at 195 pounds, he's as tough as anybody between the tackles. So run in there and run hard. And we're talking, 20, 25 carries a game, and he runs them all the same way with that physical style. When he has to get the tough yard, you can count on him.
We'll take a break right here. It's Newby, the sophomore from Los Angeles, now in the snap wide of Armstrong, and Newby has to dive on it all the way back inside the 10 to the 8 to the studio for an update.
All right, Beth, Chris Cotter along with Butch Davis, North Carolina and Virginia. Coach, what do you think of Marquise Williams?
Yeah, just a terrific job. Great arm strength. Has the ability to throw it up there. The receiver, it's a little bit of an underthrow. Jumps up, catches it, gets it in the end zone.
Matt Collins with the score, all knotted up at 14, Beth.
Got a good one going on in the ACC. Here, Big Ten country, 20-7 Nebraska. Abdullah with a couple of touchdown runs, and Tommy Armstrong with a touchdown run. Looking deep downfield. There's a collision around the 45, no flag.
I think that's a good no call. I think that, the ball's in the air, both guys looking up, trying to play the ball. Sometimes your feet get tangled up. I think that Glassian did a nice job in coverage here. That should be a no call.
3rd and 20 now for the Huskers. No love for your fellow receiver Kenny Bell on that one, huh, Joseph?
Well, number one, the ball would have had a little closer.
Yeah.
I think you forced the official to say something if it's a little closer. A ball that far out, I don't think Bell could have gotten there anyway.
Glassian is the best cover guy according to the coaches, the 5th-year senior out of Miami. Kenny so far, by the way, 2 catches, 20 yards. And on 3rd and long, they tried the draw to Abdullah, and Rutgers was right there waiting. Kamoko Toure with the tackle.
Yeah, big play up front, and it's going to allow Rutgers to get a chance to get this ball in really good field position. You're down 21-7 this late in the second half. Important. Can we get some points on the board, get some momentum? These situations where you get that kind of stop, punting from inside the 5, try to make a big play here with the punt return.
Rutgers special teams has been terrific blocking kicks, but their best blocker is Toure, who just went to the side. They'll bring everybody after this. They don't get it. It is a high short kick. Simis up to field it, muffed it, bobbled it, and then able to grab it at the 35. 31 yards on the punt. Terrific field position for Rutgers. Here's what's coming up at halftime. Chris?
All right, Bet, Dave and Buster's halftime report coming up. Butch Davis, Robert Smith will join me. Minnesota right now unbeaten in Big Ten play, but facing a stiff test from Illinois. We'll update you on that game. Also, K-State looking to crack the top 10. They've got Texas at home. Highlights there. And we'll look back at Oregon's big win last night over a Cal team that just refused to go away. Dave and Buster's halftime report coming up.
Four minutes and 10 seconds for Rutgers to work with to try and pull a touchdown back before the break. They'll get Peoples out to the edge. Greg McMullen with the tackle. First quarter, they moved it okay. They were converting on third downs. That's been a big difference, Joey. They're 0 for 3 so far in the second quarter with negative yardage.
Yeah, and that was the first pass or first down that I've seen in a while out of Rutgers. They've been trying to run between tackles, getting stuffed, and just getting behind schedule, and making it tough to get the second and longs and the third longs.
Nova trying to drop it off to Peoples out of the backfield, but he got hung up in traffic.
He did, and Nebraska sent a corner blitz. The screen is a perfect call versus a corner blitz. When they're going to send Mitchell in at your quarterback, that takes one less guy in the secondary. If you can drop it ahead and get the screen going, that's a great call. Just poor execution by Rutgers in that situation, but really nice call. 3rd and 9.
They have been averaging so far in the first half 8 yards on third down. That's distance they've had to go. Where is Randy Gregory? Hands down at right end. Gregory gets 2 linemen blocking him. They take him down. Nova will tuck it and run, and he'll get caught by Gregory, who got up off the deck to make the play. 2 linemen thumped him, took him down, and he still made the play on Nova, who's slow to get up. Nice hand from the crowd for Nova as he gets to the side. Down on the deck, and he pops up to make the tackle. Endless effort from Gregory.
I've seen plays watching Gregory on film and watching this and studying him. His athletic ability after getting hit is as good as anyone I've seen. Sometimes he looks like he's blocked. He still has the ability to get up or turn and run people down going to the sideline.
50-yard attempt for Kyle Federico, and it's blocked. Popped up into the air. It's caught by Mitchell.
And this is trouble for Rutgers.
They have blockers down the right side. Mitchell dancing around at the 42, and he tosses it backwards to try and find a teammate. And fortunately for Nebraska, they were able to hang on.
And that's what corners play defense. That stuff right there. I mean, open field, you have a chance. I don't even know what he was doing here when he turns around, but great athletic play to catch them. Now do something positive with it. That's not a smart play.
I believe that was Josh Falkenberry who was able to jump on it. Who gets the block here? Is it Collins, number 7 in red? No, I think it might have been Gregory. Let's see, is it 4 or 7?
Over 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line.
At any rate, the pressure came right up the middle, and then the toss back.
If that's what you want to call it.
I don't know if we have a name for that yet.
No idea what Mitchell was thinking when he got in the open field.
2:46 now for the Huskers to work with. Armstrong, if he snapped, but he'll try and make something of it. Picks up a few. Down to Paul.
Well, looks like good news for Rutgers. Starting quarterback Gary Nova was just evaluated by the trainers. They're working on his right shoulder, and it looks like he will return that.
Nova landed awkwardly after the tackle from Randy Gregory on that last third down play. Here is Abdullah. Bounces out to the 44. Be 3rd and a few. Here's another look at Gregory taking down Nova. And that right shoulder being driven into the turf. Gregory making plays on D, making plays on special teams. And now Armstrong. Across the middle, this is Abdullah. To the 40, first down. Steve Longa took him down.
A nice job by Armstrong. Wants to go out wide to Bell, sees it's not there, checks it down to his tight end. And that's the next phase of this game for Armstrong, is play with your eyes. Read the coverage. This is his third read to come downhill and find his running back. That is where Armstrong has a chance to improve, is his ability to read defenses.
Amir Abdullah now over 160 yards of total offense here in the all-purpose yardage, I should say, here in the first half. 1:18 still to go.
Charge timeout, Nebraska. They're first. It's going to be a 30-second timeout.
During the timeout, let's take a look at this week's rankings, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. This week's AP Top 10. By the way, the last time we'll be looking and talking about the AP Top 10. Starting next week, we'll have the playoff rankings for you from the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. They'll announce those on Tuesday night.
What is the AP doing? Poor AP. I mean, next week, it just doesn't matter any longer, but everyone's been waiting on this playoff rankings to come out so we can quit guessing. I go on College Football Live Mondays and Tuesdays, and I roll out my top 4, and people get upset and get mad at you. Now it won't matter, because we'll be talking about the committee's actual top 25.
They'll still find ways, I think, to get mad at you, Joseph.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
It's a 12-person committee now that Archie Manning has stepped away to get some medical issues taken care of. They will meet on Monday and Tuesday. We will have the announcement for you on ESPN Tuesday night. They will unveil the top 25 rankings. Of course, the top 4 at the end of the season will get into the college football playoff. Armstrong looking for Bell, incomplete. Barnwell had the coverage. Third down coming up, 1:14 to go. Huskers with 2 timeouts. And Bell limping off to the sideline. Kenny with a couple of catches here in the first half for 20 yards. He'll be replaced by the true freshman Pearson L, who will be slotted left. Westerkamp is in the slot right.
And that's who I keep my eyes on Rutgers defense. Bell is out. Watch Westerkamp.
Incomplete. They were looking instead to Lane Hovey.
I don't know. I'd take this chance, Beth. With a minute 10 left, you're up by 2 scores. You're feeling pretty good about yourself. The last thing you want to have happen here is get us to give this ball back to Rutgers and give them a chance, you know, from the 40-yard line to have a chance to go down and get points on the board and change the momentum.
4th down and 8, and Nebraska will talk about it. They have 1 timeout remaining with 1:10 to go here in the half. Another terrific weekend of college football, and of course the NFL on Monday night. No other night, Joseph, is Monday night, especially when it's these guys. Washington, Dallas. It starts with countdown at 6 Eastern, and then at 8:15 p.m. it's time to go for Deshaun Jackson, Tony Romo, and I know you spent a little time in Washington, but boy, a lot of folks remember you from those Cowboy years. The one TD, 9 catches. Did you not get enough targets against Washington in your career, or what?
No, I was usually busy running off the safeties so the other guys could catch the ball. You got to do it all, and then I had to block. Don't forget that part of my game.
You had to block Darrell Green a lot, didn't you?
Go down and block some guys so we could get the running game. I used to do it all.
Who was faster? Come on, seriously, you or Darrell?
I'm going to take that as an insult.
After the timeout, the punting unit comes on. They'll try and bury Rutgers deep. And they will. Down at the 1, terrific punting continuing. That was Kalu who got down there to down at Fultz, who buried 5 punts inside the 20 last week. Gets this one inside the 5, 37 yards, and it's just right.
Yeah, it's a great punt, and I think it takes the decision-making out of Rutgers' hands here. I think now the ball on the 2-yard line, you just want to get out of this half. You don't want anything crazy to happen to you. There's a minute left. See if you can run the ball. See if you can get a first down. Nebraska only has one timeout left, so you got a chance to run this clock all the way down and just not let anything bad happen.
As Paul Carcaterra reported a few seconds ago, Gary Nova was cleared by the athletic trainers, and it is in fact Nova that will trot back out there after getting dinged up. Hit on 6 of his first 9, including the long touchdown to Carew, but not much through the air since for Rutgers. Nova will throw out of the end zone. Incomplete. May have hit Carew on the helmet.
That is a surprise to me. Nebraska has one timeout. I would think you would run the ball, make them burn a timeout, and then run it 2 more times. Just get out of the half. You do not want anything crazy to happen at this area of the field. I mean, it is difficult to go on 98-yard drives when you have plenty of time. You got a minute left. Boy, I would run this football.
They don't even have a tailback in the game. It's just the fullback. Gregory trying to come off the edge. Another incompletion. Stops the clock with 51 seconds to go. It's 3rd and 10. Nebraska still with a timeout. So even if you run it here, Joey, you can stop the clock and force a punt from your own end zone.
Absolutely. And not only force a punt, but you're going to receive the ball on your side of the 50. So you just went from a decision of let's punt this football away to Rutgers, see what they're going to do. But now you have a chance to get it right back if you get a stop here. And I would keep my eye on Gregory, who was right behind Nova, even with the double team almost got there.
Gregory will stay out there at right end. Rutgers has not converted on their last 4 third-down attempts. Gregory again is triple teamed. The pass caught for a first down out to the 15. Andrew Terzilli.
Huge play. Big throw by Nova. Way to stick it in there. Terzilli comes across. There's a huge first down here.
Quick tempo for Rutgers. Pressure right up the middle. Nova gets the pass away as Malik Collins was bringing him down. And an injured player, a couple of them down actually, one on either side, and that is the quarterback, Gary Nova, holding his knee for Rutgers. And you could hear the reaction from the crowd as they saw the replay here at the stadium a few seconds before we did. On the monitor, immediately going for the right knee is Gary Nova, the senior from Elmwood Park, New Jersey. He's been in the starting lineup for the last 4 years. That is the backup, Chris Laviano, the redshirt freshman from Glen Head, New York, who has appeared in 2 games. I mentioned an injured player too for Nebraska. That was just briefly Josh Mitchell, the cornerback, who is up and got over to the sideline. Collins taking down Nova on the throw. Nova able to sit up. But the athletic trainers will have to help him over to the sideline. There is a new rule, by the way, this year to try and protect quarterbacks if you come in as a defender and hit them low. But on that play, Malik Collins came in high and had him wrapped up around the arm and then around the waist, and it was just the body weight coming down awkwardly on the knee there of the quarterback, Gary Nova. And it's Laviano here to close out the first half. Now Rutgers will get a tailback in the game. It's Justin Goodwin. Goodwin gets the call. And it would appear that both sides will let the clock go. 21-7, Nebraska with the first half lead. The bigger development for Rutgers is that picture right there. Starting quarterback Gary Nova helped off the field. A late injury here to end the first half. For Nebraska, Tommy Armstrong with 1 rushing touchdown, 2 long TD runs for Amir Abdullah as he's over 100 yards, well over 100 in the first half. Down to the field and Paul Carcaterra.
Coach, what's impressed you most about your run game?
Well, you know, I think we blocked it pretty well. Amir's made a couple really good cuts and got a couple big plays out of it. We got to get a little more consistency with it.
Leante Carew, their wide receiver, over 100 yards. How do you want to defend their pass game in the second half?
Well, we can't come out of coverage on a quarterback scramble. That's what really hurt us on that one play. But, you know, there's a lot of things we need to get better at, but that's sure one of them.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you, Paul. Now let's get you to Chris Cotter, Robert Smith, and Butch Davis there in the studio for the Dave & Buster's halftime report. As we get set for the third quarter, Nebraska out in front of Rutgers. Beth Mowens along with Joey Galloway and Paul Carcaterra. Down on the field just a moment ago, Paul Carcaterra reeling up to us that Gary Nova is back out on the sideline. He's been warming up. He will try and give it a go. They will have the ball here first, or at least the kickoff coming their way after an injury for Nova late in that first half. For Nebraska, the story, Joey, as we expected, Randy Gregory disruptive on defense and Amir Abdullah with 2 long touchdown runs.
Yeah, if you turn on this game looking to see what kind of running back Amir Abdullah has been, he has shown you just about everything he has. He's been explosive. He's made the big runs, the big cuts, and he's shown the speed when he gets into that secondary. They can't catch up to him. And then Randy Gregory on the other side has been disruptive. He's been quick. He's been athletic. And what he has done for this defensive line, he's opened up for guys like Malik Collins to have a chance to get after Gary Nova because they're getting into single blocks because you have to block Gregory with 2 or 3 guys.
And obviously Nova will have a little extra time here. Nebraska, after the deferment in the first half, will have a go at it first. This is Amir Abdullah. Adding a few more all-purpose yards. He'll get out across the 25 of the 28. How about his touchdown runs today for Amir? Another one from 50 yards away.
Yeah, a couple long ones. You can see, you know, the defense for Rutgers had a chance at Abdullah a couple times on both of these long runs. He just has the speed and the quickness to outrun guys, make the cut, put the foot in the ground, and get upfield. And once he does that, once he gets to full speed, there's not much you can do.
That other run in the second quarter, 48 yards on the touchdown. Another big day for Abdullah on his way possibly again to another 200-yard day. He's already at 149 on the ground. He'll get the first call of the second half. And a burst off the right side. Abdullah breaks a tackle and he could be gone again. Caught at the 25 and shoved out of bounds. Chongo Condolo with a nice block up front. 49 more yards for Amir.
But the safety, and I believe this is Lorenzo Waters, you just have to take a better angle. I mean, you know what kind of running back Abdullah is. You know you can't come flat and catch up to this guy. You've got to take a better angle and insert yourself better in the run game when Abdullah gets the ball in his hands, or this is what happens. He'll gash your defense.
Amani Cross now on for Abdullah. Westerkamp and Bell both go to the left. They'll run Cross to the right. He's caught from behind and hauled down by Steve Longa, the leading tackler for this Rutgers defense. Well, congratulations to Amir Abdullah. He now passed Anthony Thompson, so in Big Ten history, he is 3rd all-time. All-purpose yards behind Ron Dane and Archie Griffin, a couple of Heisman Trophy winners.
Keep saying a couple. There's 3 in that group. Three in that.
3 total. Two
yeah,
guys,
three
3 total.
Let's point out the 2 by number 2 there.
Back to back
Archie
for Arch.
Griffin.
Dane is the NCAA career rush leader, and Griffin only 2-time Heisman winner, who won 4 Big Ten titles and went to 4 Rose Bowls. with the Buckeyes of Woody Hayes. Flagging a false start here for Nebraska.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
These are two programs, relative newcomers to the Big Ten. Nebraska a few years ago, Rutgers this year. They come in, though, with little different stories, Joey. Certainly Nebraska already had the tradition and the 5 national championships on the resume. And they had some big guys on those front lines, offensively and defensively. And talking to Rutgers and Maryland, the two new guys this year, that's going to be the adjustment for them moving forward, certainly from a recruiting standpoint, to get some more biggins on the O&D lines. Strong. Nice pass to Kenny Bell inside the 20 as he steps out around the 18-yard line.
You talk about guys coming into the Big Ten. You talk to Bo Pelini, Nebraska. Not a whole lot of adjustment. They're already a big-time program. They already had that size up front. When you talk Maryland, you talk Rutgers. Now these guys are the teams that are going to have to get bigger in the front lines, and you can see it today. You can see the power of the Nebraska offensive line. They're just bigger than the Rutgers defensive line. So when they get their hands on them, when they start to put them, you know, there's not a whole lot of resistance because of that size differential.
Empty set here, Abdullah lining up in the slot right as a receiver, and he is the target. The catch turns inside the 10. Steve Longo with the stop.
And I think we've seen it today. You know, when you look at this Rutgers defense, they're a slashing defense. They move around a lot, and then the reason they have to do that, they average 244 yards, 244 pounds up front. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't stand in front of the Big Ten offensive linemen and battle these guys. You have to move around because of size.
That's almost 60 pounds per man.
Not bad on your math that time, actually.
58 to be exact. Into the end zone, touchdown to the tight end, Sam Cotton. Tommy Armstrong dropped that one right over the top. And Cotton got ISO to the linebacker for 6.
Outstanding throw by Armstrong. Put that right on the money. Pretty good coverage. Not a wide open, tight end, but he put it where only Cotton can get it, and Cotton makes a nice catch.
Extra points good. First possession of the second half for Nebraska, and they strike 28-7.
We talked about Tommy Armstrong and his ability to stand in the pocket, find his receiver, look at the eyes, look at the motion. Beautiful throw for a touchdown.
Five plays, 72 yards in under 3 minutes. Tommy Armstrong to his tight end Sam Cotton for the score. In case you missed it, video of the touchdown is now posted on the SportsCenter app. It's available on your mobile devices and tablets, wherever you need it. Cotton's second touchdown catch of the day. Nice throw by Tommy Armstrong. They score with their first possession, and they will kick it away to Rutgers. Will Janarian Grant return? Yes, he was suspended. Violation of team rules, didn't play in the first half. He is back out to receive the kick in his own end zone. We'll have an update for you on the condition of Gary Nova from Paul Carcaterra after the kick, as it appears there will be a change at the quarterback spot. Here's Paul.
Well, Beth, spoke to Kyle Flood right before the third quarter, and he said he wanted to see Gary Nova run around on the field, and it was no good for Nova. He was walking around gingerly. He couldn't run. He's got a huge right knee brace on, and trying to throw and plant was no good. But Chris Laviano, their backup, he told me that he's a similar skill set to Nova. The offense won't change. Joey, I know you questioned a couple things. Going for the pass late in that second quarter, Kyle Flood thought that they could get some points with less than a minute left, and then their play call on first and second down, he says it's all about the run. They're not going to go away from the run. He said they're just a guy too short. Nebraska's that good up front.
So it is Laviano, the redshirt freshman from Glen Head, New York. He will hand it off to Desmond Peoples, making his third appearance for Gary Nova. He got knocked around a couple of times. This was the shoulder on the tackle by Gregory, and then here's the play that apparently knocked him out of this game. Taken down by Malik Collins and injuring the right knee. Over the senior now with the headset and the ball cap on the sideline. Laviano directing traffic. He's looking for a blocker, and he's got one. Laviano inside the 30, pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Josh Mitchell finally ran him down, and a good start for Laviano. 50 yards on that run.
And that's what Rutgers needs. They just need a spark right now. They need something to get them going. It's been easy for Nebraska since the second quarter to move the ball, put points on the board. Rutgers going to have to answer some way, somehow, and it might be getting Laviano out wide, and you can see the running ability.
First and 10 from the 25. Peoples is tracked down. And the black shirt defense only allowed Northwestern last week 28 yards the entire second half. Laviano doubling that up on the one run. Nate Gary, who had an interception in the first half. What a turnaround for the Northwestern defense, or for Nebraska against Northwestern in that second half. After giving up 262 yards before the break, responded to challenge by the coaching staff. Peoples. Mitchell couldn't bring him down. He'll get inside the 20 and won't get much farther. David Santos, the junior from Spring, Texas, is there. So here we go again on third down. And Randy Gregory, we've seen him at times triple teamed on third down by a tackle, a tight end, and a fullback.
And I think he's best when he's out wide at defensive end. I think he takes up more guys in the blocking scheme. And you can see he's standing up. He's standing right in here in the middle. We'll see as he moves around, goes to the outside again, and puts his hand down.
Rutgers will shift the tight end over to Gregory's side. And they'll throw it to him, but a whistle and a flag before the play.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
They converted 3 of their first 4 third downs today, but they're just 1 for 5 since. And the penalty will set them back. Keith Lumpkin, 74, was whistled for that one.
Third down and 9.
Good protection, incomplete, broken up by Mitchell, who had the coverage. And it's 4th and 9.
There's Rutgers standing up at linebacker and just comes around the edge. If I'm Rutgers, I would like to see him standing up. I think that he is tougher. He's harder to block. He's quicker when he has his hand down in the dirt and he's playing out wide as a defensive end. When he's standing up, he a lot of times gets bundled up in the middle and easier to block.
Gregory blocked a 50-yard attempt from Federico. This one is from 41, and it curves to the right and through.
And the kick is good.
Both teams score on their first possession of this second half, 28-10, Huskers.
ESPN College Football is brought to you by Honda, official music sponsor of ESPN College Football, and AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Now located right here in Lincoln, the National Museum of Roller Skating. It's all about ball bearings nowadays. Some of the skates date back to 1819, Joey. Medals, photographs, memorabilia. Bring back any fond memories?
I hear you used to be a pretty good skater back in your day.
Sportsorama. Every Saturday night middle school. Kick is away. Abdullah from the 1. He thought he might have been in the end zone. He took a look down and now will come out with it. Abdullah across midfield. Out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Checking to make sure the photographer that he ran into was okay at the tail end of the play. Amir almost didn't give it a go. Watch him look down. Am I in the end zone? Nope. Gotta go. And 76 yards later, he has set up the Huskers.
Yeah, you can see this is pretty nice blocking up front. And then you can see he just has to make the one guy miss right there, and then this is just speed out wide. But really nice blocking by the other 10 guys on this return.
Chalking up more all-purpose yardage. Passed Anthony Thompson here today to move into third all-time in Big Ten history behind Ron Dane and Archie Griffin. Terrell Newby, the sophomore from Los Angeles, on the carry. David Maluski with the tackle. Did you have touchdown returns on kicks or punts, Joey?
Yeah, I had a couple in my my career. Yeah, just do a little bit of everything. But the return game is really the front 10 guys don't get as much credit as they deserve, because you know generally you got to make one or two guys miss, but they take care of everything else, and they're doing all the hard work.
On 2nd and 8, Tommy Armstrong. Some more window dressing. There's another different look from Nebraska. Flag is down, and Armstrong fires it away. And now another flag coming in from the secondary, so a couple of them down. Appeared the first one would be for holding.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, offense number 65. Holding, defense number 12. Offsetting, still brings up 2nd down.
So we'll go all over again.
Yeah, when you have an offsetting penalty like that, when Nebraska throws an interception, I mean, it really is, I mean, not an interception, but an incomplete pass. It really is a win for the offense. Now they get 2nd down over on a play. They committed a penalty and had an incomplete pass.
Trips right, Abdullah. Wave to the side. Guys moved at different moments up front.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That'll be their 3rd false start penalty today.
Yeah, and if there's going to be an area that the coach Pelini will be upset with his team, and they've played an outstanding ball game, it's been the penalties, the false starts, a couple fumbles on, you know, just the snap, those kind of things. Those are just ugly plays in a football game that will cause you to lose later on in your season that you want to clean up.
The direct snap to Abdullah. Carves it off the right side down to about the 23 for Amir. This was the return, and the roll almost into the photographer's. Hey, is everybody cool? Everybody okay? Yeah. That's why he is so beloved here in Lincoln. Armstrong stays in the pocket and fires that one inside the 10 to Kenny Bell. Kent continues to move closer to breaking a couple of records here at Nebraska. 14 yards on that pickup. He is flirting with their all-time receptions lead and their all-time yardage lead here today.
I've been very impressed with Armstrong and his arm strength. I would say that they have best combination here at Nebraska between Armstrong and Amir Abdullah, and then Kenny Bell out wide. I would say that they have the best combination of running back, receiver, quarterback from a playmaking standpoint in the Big Ten.
One more catch and he will tie Nate Swift for the all-time receptions record. Still needs 25 yards past Johnny Rodgers for that record.
You think they knew his record time?
Back to Bell, and he's tied it.
Nice little easy 5-yard out from the 10-yard line. I guarantee that Nebraska knew exactly where he was on that list for catches.
He is now tied for #1 all-time in receptions. The 4-year starter. He's battled through some injuries this year to stay out there. Didn't play in the Michigan State game. These Nebraska fans so good at getting quiet with their team on offense down in the red zone. Looking for Westerkamp. Touchdown, Armstrong. 3rd touchdown Tommy has been responsible for today.
Little pick play down low. See, Notre Dame got to learn to run it like that. Don't just go block the defender. just get in his way. You don't have to just drive block him out the end zone. Get in the way, make sure that the defensive back has to go around you, and your job is done.
2 possessions and 2 scores here in the 3rd quarter for Nebraska. Aided by the Abdullah kick return, they only needed to go 24 yards. The last 5 of them, Armstrong to Westerkamp, 34-10.
A journey to the next great championship in sports. ESPN, home of the new college football playoff. New Year's will never be the same.
Back here at Memorial Stadium, over 91,000 on hand. The 338th consecutive sellout, the NCAA record. And they've been packing them in here for over 52 years. And the home team out in front, 35-10. Amir Abdullah having another big day. Back to Josh Hicks. And he'll get out to the 14. How about an update back to the studio?
All right, Beth, UCLA at Colorado. First play from scrimmage for the Bruins offense. And Paul Prickens is going to take the handoff. Yep, splits the defenders around the left side. He's gone. 92 yards. It's just 1 yard shy of the longest run in school history. 7-0 UCLA early in Foles Field. Meanwhile, David Cobb helping Minnesota close the gap in Champaign over on ESPNU. Now a 4-point lead for the Illini. Beth?
Carter did a nice job of throwing it back both of us early in the day. He must be getting tired in studio.
Nebraska fans are certainly rooting for Illinois right now. Goodwin out across the 20. Nebraska is a game behind Minnesota in the West Division. They also have to play everybody, though, in the West. That's going to be a great finish. Should be a terrific finish in the SEC as well. Ole Miss is at LSU tonight. That's at 7:15 Eastern on ESPN and your Watch ESPN app. Who's in for the college football playoff? Ole Miss appears to be in contention at this point. The best defense in the country. They've allowed just 6 touchdowns while scoring 4 as their defensive unit. Laviano stays in at quarterback, replacing the injured Gary Nova, who has not been back out after getting hurt at the end of the 2nd quarter. Goodwin there on the carry.
You talk about that Ole Miss defense. Where they're good is up front. They have the ability to stop the run. They have the ability to get after the quarterback with their front 4 guys. Anytime you can do that and leave 7 back in coverage, you're going to be tough as a defense, and they do it as well as anybody.
It's going to be a big night for LSU. You know, teams don't go in there and win very much, but Mississippi State did it earlier, and now Ole Miss trying to do it. Pressure coming right up the middle and fires it into the flat, incomplete.
This isn't the same LSU team that we've seen in the past. They have their holes, not very good on defense, still trying to figure out their quarterback situation. You go mid-season and you're still trying to figure out who your starting quarterback is, you're going to struggle, and especially in the SEC West where teams are pretty good. So I would expect Ole Miss to win that game fairly easily.
And Chris Cotter also referenced that UCLA-Colorado game. You've still got Arizona State and Utah and Oregon with just 1 loss. Oregon, a big win last night. Marcus Mariota had 5 touchdowns. They beat Cal. Robert Martin out of the backfield. Motors out to midfield, and a first down for Rutgers. David Santos with the tackle. Monday and Tuesday, the selection committee will get together and they will announce their top 25 ranked teams. All eyes will be on their top 4. Those will be the playoff teams. Here's Joey's picks thus far with Notre Dame and the Ole Miss coming up tonight. They're on the outside looking in at this point.
And I still like Florida State in that 1 spot. Mississippi State, we've seen what they are. People wonder why Auburn hasn't fallen after they lost that game. I just think when you looked at Auburn play, I just think that they're still in that top 4, across the country. When we talk playoff, I would still take Auburn over a lot of people, and that's why I call it takeability. I'm taking them over everyone else at this point in the season if they had to play on a neutral field.
If you look at some of the polls and some of the rankings, our own Football Power Index at ESPN has, what, 5 SEC teams up at the top. You're thinking maybe 2, but 3 is probably going to be tough, won't it?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 2, and I have 2 in mind. I don't think there's any way they get 3 in the playoff this season.
Could still potentially leave a couple of conferences without a team. Laviano, pass complete to his tight end, Croft.
Joey, you know I love you with takeability, but you mentioned a couple weeks ago it's all about who would win when they match up. I did hear you on College Football Live get a little bit of a nod to Florida State because of what they did last year too, so I'm a little confused. I know you have your hands full with those Alabama fans. You don't even have them looking in.
Yeah, they're way out right now. They're a couple teams back, and I think that when you look at Florida State, although you don't get credit for what you did last season, I think as these wins start to mount, you go 22 in a row, I think number 23, 24, they all get tougher because of the streak, and I give them credit for that part.
3rd and 5, Gregory. Missed, but the wind it created brought down the quarterback, Chris Laviano.
Yeah, Laviano could feel this one coming. Watch Gregory, the speed. It is almost as if he wasn't there. It looked like Mouty wanted to look the other way, like, oh my gosh, don't leave me with this guy by myself. And then here he comes with the athleticism and the ability to close. When he sees his shot to get there, you're talking about a couple steps. You're talking 6'6". I mean, that's only 3 steps to close 7, 8 yards. That's what makes him different.
Laviano got caught in the vapor trail right there. Pearsonell with some problems initially, but able to pick it up off of one bounce and some big hits on the return. 19 yards on the return after a 56-yard punt. It's time to talk, Joey, about the eliminator round chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. We are down to 8 as we head to Martinsville, presented by AutoZone. That'll be Sunday at 1 o'clock on ESPN. From 8, we'll be down to 4. You got 3 races in this eliminator round to try and pick up a win, and then the final 4 will head down to Homestead for that final race to determine the championship. You're handicapping, Joey. Who's the guy or 2 guys to watch?
Logano's had an outstanding season, a Ford guy. I look for him to move on. And, of course, I'm a Matt Kenseth fan. He's with Toyota now, and I'm hoping the best for him. Hope he gets in there also.
Jeff Gordon's trying for, what, a 5th
yeah, my best friend's a Jeff Gordon fan. I can't root for him.
Amani Cross to the 26.
Oh, you mentioned earlier you love the 3-man combo of Armstrong, Abdullah, and Kenny Bell, maybe the best in the Big Ten in your estimation. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but why better than Cook, Langford, and Lippert from Michigan State?
Well, the reason I say that is because Armstrong has the ability to throw and run. And when I'm talking the combination of play guys, I'm saying you can make a big play from anywhere on the field.
They might have lost it right here.
There's some of the sloppiness we talked about. That is another area where they've just been sloppy, with putting the ball on the ground, even though they've gotten a couple back. This one they lose, but there's been sloppy play.
They've had some issues with that exchange in the shotgun throughout the afternoon. Was it Lambert that got it, 22? Another turnover goes Rutgers with.
It looks like a pretty good snap. Looks like Armstrong just mishandles this ball.
So the second giveaway for Nebraska, and now Laviano, the quarterback, with a very short field to work with. Play action, the rollout, he'll keep. Diving forward about 9 yards, just ducked under Corey Cooper, who's coming on strong.
And he had Carew in the back end zone. The last time we had Rutgers, and we saw Nova do the same play, roll out, and found Carew in the back of the end zone. This is what happens. You get a different quarterback in there. He runs plays differently. He sees things differently. Laviano, you can see in this situation, wants to run before the pass, but he had Carew in the end zone if he wanted to throw that ball.
Quarterback will keep trying to get the first down inside the 10-yard line, and he's got it. So a 1st and goal coming up for Rutgers, trying to take advantage of the turnover.
And let me finish my answer to Kirkland. When I say that, you know, Armstrong and Bell and Amir Abdullah are the best group of playmakers, and I say that I picked him over Connor Cook in the area of Armstrong has the athletic ability to score himself. from anywhere on the field, as we've seen him score here today. And that's why I take these three when I talk about athleticism and playmaking ability.
They set up the nice receive screen. Carew dodging his way through traffic down to the 3. Undercut by Mitchell. Pick up a 7 yards there.
Coach Flood told us the part that he was impressed with his team, in the Ohio State game when they got down in that game in the second half, his kids never quit. They continued to play hard. You couldn't tell what the score was by the way his guys went at it, the effort that they gave, and you can see they're still playing now. They've lost their leader in Gary Nova. Chris Leano has come on. He's moved the ball. They've gotten a field goal on the board, and here they have a chance to score again because they're continuing to play hard.
Peoples out of the eye, gets to the edge. Touchdown Rutgers. They convert the turnover.
Touchdown Rutgers. Desmond Peoples scoring.
Good poise by the new quarterback in the game, Chris Laviano. And the cut here by Peoples to get away from Cooper.
A little bit of holding to get around the edge, but if they don't call it, it doesn't count. That's a touchdown. Nice running, nice play call, and again, nice effort by Rutgers to keep playing football.
Under 2 minutes on that short scoring drive, 35-17 Huskers.
Flat.
All right, Beth, let's go out to Champaign. Here come the Gophers. David Cobb taking this in from 13 yards out, dancing around, finding the edge, and gets to the pylon. His second rushing touchdown of the game. They've now taken the lead. That game entering the fourth quarter on ESPNU. And the Cardinal making their way inside the farm, getting set to take on Oregon State. That game will kick 3:30 right here on ESPN2. Bob Wischusen and Matt Millen will have the call. Back out to Beth Mowens and the wonderfully talented Joey Galloway.
There he is. Now he's awake.
How about the Big Ten standings? Wonderfully talented Joseph Galloway. Minnesota back on top, trying to get to 4-0. And for the Gophers, terrific job that staff is doing. That would be their best start in the league in 50 years.
Yeah, we talked to Bo Pelini how he's a little bit more calm this season. You don't see the explosion. Well, they're 6-1. He's feeling a lot better about his team. They will have a chance to control their own destiny in the West. If they can win their games, they're sitting in a pretty good spot, and that always makes it easier for a coach to be in a better mood.
They all play each other in the last month. Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Minnesota actually probably has the toughest road because they still have Ohio State and then road trips to Wisconsin as well as coming here. Iowa probably would have the easiest because they have Wisconsin and Nebraska at home. And Pelini still can turn up the heat a little bit if he needs to, Joey.
I said a little calmer. I mean, he still has a little bit of fire now. Wonder what that poor guy did.
Shares a Buckeye background as a player. And longtime assistant coach. Now in his 7th season, the 3rd winningest coach here in Nebraska history, and trying to bring another one home here as we head to the 4th with the Huskers on top, 35-17. Back here at Memorial Stadium, 35-17, Nebraska on top. It's been another big day for Amir Abdullah with a couple of long touchdown runs. He has 4 plays today of over 48 yards, including a 76-yard kickoff return to set up a score. He's on the sideline right now, and Amani Cross is doing some damage, muscling his way across midfield. 17 yards on the pickup.
I think this is a smart move by Nebraska, getting Amir Abdullah out of the game, getting some carries for Cross. Talked about the amount of carries that Amir Abdullah gets in a season. When they're good, he's up in the 20s. They've been, when they've won their games pretty good. But he is a smaller guy. He runs hard. They got to protect him during the week, make sure he doesn't take a lot of hits, and I would give him as much rest in game as possible, especially in the 4th quarter when you're up 35-17.
18 carries today from Amir. His average has been going up each season. Carries per game. He's around 23 carries per game this year. His yardage has also gone up each season. He continues to move up the record books. Third all-time in Big Ten history today in all-purpose yardage. He's already become the first Husker in history to rush for over 1,000 yards in 3 seasons. Cross puts the shoulder down. We'll get to the 42. And it will be 3rd down and 4. Steve Longo with the tackle. The challenge here for Rutgers is to try and get the ball back and get their offense back out there, even though they don't have the arm of Gary Nova right now. He's out with an injury. Armstrong on 3rd and 4 for 7 with a pick.
I think you're worried about the quarterback drawing these kind of situations. You only have 5 guys in the box. I mean, that leaves Armstrong with a lot of room to mess around and take off running.
Right here. Oh, and he's tripped up at the 40.
He would like to have that one back. I guarantee if he has one back, he would be disappointed in himself because there was a lane to run. There was only 5 guys in the box, and I think he just takes it a little bit lightly there. Not a great block off the edge. Nice play by Rutgers, but I think that Armstrong had a chance to make a play there, and that's Teray. You know, when you look at the Rutgers defense, he's probably their most athletic guy, and he makes a great tackle on Armstrong, but that was a play that Armstrong would love to have another chance at.
Teray made up some ground quickly, and now Sam Foltz will try and put this one deep in Rutgers territory. Janarian Grant at his own 10-yard line. High boot. Grant the fair catch, drifting back to his own 7. 33 yards for Foltz, and again he puts the opposition in a tough spot. Back here in Lincoln, the storyline for Nebraska up on Rutgers 35-17. Amir Abdullah's got 318 all-purpose yards. That's a career high. It's actually only 3 yards shy of the school record. Gary Nova got knocked out of the game late in the first half, and Randy Gregory has been bringing his misery to that Rutgers offense. Also on special teams with a blocked field goal attempt today. The pitch is to Goodman out to the 10-yard line, wrapped up by Cooper. Rutgers rather scored on its last possession, converting a turnover 6.
You know, Beth, with Gregory, how athletic he is and disruptive. Offensive coordinator Tim Beck said to us yesterday, it's hard to practice his own read against this guy because he can tap both the running back and the quarterback.
And there he is wrapping up Goodwin, even though Burton was trying to block him. Gregory able to break free.
It's going to be tough for your fullback to block Gregory in that situation. You can just see his athleticism. This is Burton again, the fullback. He's assigned to help out with Gregory wherever he goes. Gregory at the defensive end here. Again, a couple guys assigned to take care of him. And then inside, they move him around to make him hard to find. Then you have 3 guys. Sometimes you throw 3 guys at him. This play, he's blocked by 2 guys, gets up off the ground.
Gregory will try up the middle. Laviano's pass over the head of Croft and out of bounds. Gregory got a body on the quarterback along with Malik Collins.
This time he just comes right up the middle. I mean, when you get him one-on-one inside versus the guards, he's tough to handle if he has some space to get around. I like him on the edge because he has room, but when he goes inside and he gets some space, he's quick enough with his hands, and when he can get through, he's pretty good.
Forced a punt out of the end zone for Rutgers. Demarne Pearsonell, he'll have a go from the 43. And down at the 39 and a flag as well. 32 yards on that punt, 5 on the return. We'll hear the call and then take a commercial break.
On the return, legal block in the back. Receive team number 7. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, Nebraska. Timeout.
Husker ball when we come back. They're up 35.
ESPN College Football is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots and in part by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Certainly one of the great college game days in all of football. Lincoln, Nebraska Memorial Stadium, 91,000 plus, and a 35-17 Nebraska lead over Rutgers. Huskers trying to keep pace in that Big Ten West. They come into the day a game behind Minnesota. The Gophers with a 3-point lead over Illinois in the fourth quarter today. Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, all still yet to play one another in that Western Division in the month of November. Newby with the carry, and he's brought down immediately. Amir Abdullah, I don't think we've seen much of him lately. His day may in fact be done. And we'll take this chance to remind you of the big showdown tonight at Penn State. The Nittany Lions hosting J.D. Barrett and the Buckeyes, 8 Eastern on ABC. Who's into the college football playoff? That was a tough loss at home to Virginia Tech for the Buckeyes. They've been awfully good since. All heading towards that November 8th showdown with Michigan State in the East Division. Michigan State, huge favorites today against Michigan at 3:30 Eastern on ABC. There's a breakdown of the East and West as the Huskers pick up the first down. Quick with the tempo, Newby.
When you look at those standings, and we've talked about the West, how everybody plays each other. The East side, and when you look at Michigan State has to play Ohio State later on this season, I believe it's November 8th or something like that.
Yep.
That side also has to root for a team like Nebraska, a team like Minnesota to run the table, because in the Big Ten championship game, if you're a team that's talking chances to get to the playoff, you want the best possible team to play in the Big Ten championship game.
If looking at possibly two SEC and then Florida State from the ACC, Newby with a nice cutback and a flag down behind the play. That obviously only leaves one spot left for the Big 12, the Big 10, the Pac-12. Throw Notre Dame into the mix.
Holding, offense number 68. 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
And I think the Big 12 took a big hit last week with Baylor losing West Virginia. They don't have a championship game in the Big 12. That hurts. The Pac-12, you look at Oregon has a shot to get there. The rest of the league is sort of jumbled in there together. I really think that if a team like Nebraska, who's right now ranked number 16, and you look at then Ohio State at 13, Michigan State, I believe somewhere in there around 8, if those teams come out, one of the ones on the East and then Nebraska, I think that either side could have a pretty good argument in who wins the Big Ten championship game.
Armstrong out of the gun, has time, fires to Bell, the catch inside the 30. And now Kenny Bell all alone atop the record books here at Nebraska as he passes Nate Swift.
You think Kenny Bell knows as he grabbed that football and starts pointing to the sideline, hey, get this, somebody come get this football. That's a record football. And congratulations to Kenny Bell, an outstanding season, outstanding day today.
And we're not done yet for Kenny Bell. 7 yards, receiving yards, and he will pass Johnny Rodgers to #1 all-time in that category. Flags as Armstrong picks up just a couple.
Side, defense number 58. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Here's one of the record breakers for Kenny Hill.
I was talking to Rich Fisher, the wide receiver coach from Nebraska before the game, talking about Kenny Bell a little bit, and he was saying, you know, the situation's never too big for Kenny Bell. He's just that kind of player that comes to work and wants to play every single game, no matter where it is, no matter what the situation is, he's ready to play football.
Abdullah's back in on the end around, and Abdullah will score another one. 23 yards. And that's another record. Single season, all-purpose yards. Abdullah passes Roy Alou Jr., who had 321. Amir now with 341. And that's his third touchdown run today. extra point good. 42-17. Huskers in control now with 8:07 to go on another big day for Amir Abdullah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's been outstanding today. 9 rushes, 225 yards, 3 touchdowns. Big playability. He's been everything we expected to see from him today.
ESPN is your home of the new college football playoff.
The college football playoff, you saw that Rose Bowl and Sugar Bowl mentions. They'll be the 2 semifinals, and then the national championship down at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Johnny Rogers, one of the all-time greats. And Kenny Bell's tracking his record for career receiving yardage. Amir Abdullah's having another huge day. 3 touchdown runs for Amir, and a new school record in all-purpose yardage for a single game. This is Janarian Grant on the return. Out across the 45. Here's an update from the studio.
Bit, and then
Beth, Joey, Chris Cotter here in studio. Let's check out what's happening in Manhattan. Charles Jones bounces it outside and back inside. This 1-yard plunge extending Kansas State's lead. It's now 23-0. Kansas State over Texas about halfway through the 4th quarter. Sean Mannion needs just 316 yards just against Stanford to become the Pac-12's all-time leader in passing yards. Should be a good one. Beavers and Cardinal 3:30 right here on ESPN2. Beth, Joey.
Thank you, Chris. Robert, Butch. Back here at Memorial Stadium, 42-17 Huskers. Under minutes to go. Backup quarterback Chris Laiano with the handoff to Robert Martin, excuse me, the true freshman from Harrisburg. One of the things we love this early game, Joey, is we get to talk about all the games coming up. And there's a doozy tonight down at Death Valley, 7:15 Eastern. It's 3rd-ranked and undefeated Ole Miss taking on number 24 LSU. That comes your way on ESPN, also on your Watch ESPN app. Bo Wallace been dynamite in the second half of games. 10 touchdowns, 0 picks.
Yeah, and I think 3 of those 6 interceptions came in one game versus Boise State.
In the first half.
He's been pretty good, especially when you watch him versus the Alabama team. That was a huge win for Ole Miss and a big game for Bo Wallace. And I give the coaching staff a lot of credit for the play calling, what they asked Bo Wallace to do, and then he went out and executed, and they've just been on a roll since.
That was Carlton Agadosi with the catch. It was close in the first half, 21-7. Rutgers was right in it. They tried to go for points late in the half. They got a first down deep in their own territory to keep the drive alive, but then what appeared to be a knee injury to their quarterback, Gary Nova, knocked him out of the game. And Laviano here in the second half. And the defense has been unable to stop the Husker attack.
But the offense of Rutgers has moved since Laviano has come into this game. He started off with the 50-yard run, getting outside the pocket, but since then, they've been able to move the ball. The running game has looked a little better, and maybe that's part of, the fact that the play action looks better with Laviano in the game in this second half, but they have moved the ball.
Play action, Laviano on the rollout. He will keep it. Upended at the 10-yard line. That was Croft with a nice block on Santos, who actually ended up at the feet of the quarterback to take him down. First down for Rutgers.
And I think Croft blocked him too good in this situation. It was almost like Laviano didn't expect him to fall that far, but nice block by Croft, and another first down with Laviano getting outside the pocket, moving this offense towards scoring.
Trying to get to the edge. Martin hit by Cooper at the 5. That'll bring up second and a couple. They can still get the first down around the 1-yard line. There's Gary Nova, headset on. Tried to give it a go in the second half. He came out on the sideline. Unable, though, to get back in the game. Martin. Touchdown, Rutgers. An impressive rumble up the field. And Martin finishes it off with a 4-yard TD. First career touchdown for the newcomer from Harrisburg. Hoping to have the success that a couple other guys have had from that neighborhood. LaShawn McCoy, Ricky Waters, just to name a couple of Harrisburg natives. It hit it big. PAT is good. Rutgers goes 6 plays, 53 yards, 2 minutes and 56 seconds, and the first career touchdown for Robert Martin. 42-24. The tradition of success here at Nebraska includes 5 national championships. (42-24). Nebraska with the lead over Rutgers. A couple of records set here today by this Husker attack. Kenny Bell and Amir Abdullah. The crowd giving a nice hand right now to Kenny Bell, who became #1 all-time, passing Nate Swift in career receptions. And another record going to Amir Abdullah. Set a new single-game all-purpose yardage record. He's up over 300 on the day. 3 rushing touchdowns of 53, 48, and 23 yards. And Nebraska will call a timeout. Here's the studio and Chris.
All right, Beth, Minnesota just cannot stand prosperity. Trying to lock this one down in Champaign. Look at David Cobb coughing it up. D'Angelo Bentley. The Illini picks it up and goes 14 yards for the score. Illinois right now with a 4-point lead over Minnesota over on ESPNU. 5 minutes left to go there. Following our game on ESPN2, Ty Montgomery and the Stanford Cardinal will take on the Oregon State Beavers. Coming your way 3:30 right here on ESPN2. Beth?
Thank you, Chris. Well, Stanford will try and pick up a win as they get set for Oregon next week. That could be a big one for the playoff aspirations of the Ducks, as well as determining who might rule the North Division out in the Pac-12. Rutgers may be setting up for the onside kick here. They'll go to the right side, the high hopper. Oh, they got a hand on it, and then it goes out of bounds, and a flag down on the play as well. Officials gathering to sort it out. It's almost already a must-win, by the way, for Minnesota. Even though they're undefeated in the league, they still have a tough road to go, including coming here in November.
Free kick out of bounds by the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty added on to the end of the kick will be first down Nebraska. Please reset the game clock to 5:11. The ball was not legally touched.
That guy didn't touch it, right?
Looked like Longa got a hand on it.
I thought he did too. I thought it was touched by
At any rate, he did not have possession of it, so it's Nebraska football. This is Newby. He'll pick up a couple yards inside the 40. We've talked about what's coming up for the likes of Minnesota and Nebraska. How about this Polaris Sharp performance? And it is the record-breaking performances today. Kenny Bell and Amir Abdullah. This is Amir, who had been out of the game for much of the 4th quarter and came back in to score one more time.
Yeah, Coach Beck, the offensive coordinator, told us that he didn't know where the records were, and not something he had paid attention to. And then we see Amir Abdullah jog back onto the field for one more touchdown. I'm sure somebody let him know that the records were close. I always like to see nice guys playing football. You see Amir Abdullah, he's concerned about the photographer. And then Kenny Bell, same thing. You okay? Everything good? Get back to playing football. I always like to see nice guys out there.
That was the offseason nod to Phil Pelini. For those of you on Twitter, you'll know what that's all about. Not sure they'll be throwing the ball much anymore, under 4 minutes to go, but still out there for Kenny Bell is 7 yards away from passing Johnny Rogers and another school record for career receptions yardage. Newby getting some nice work out there. for the youngster from California. Quentin Gauze on the tackle. For the Scarlet Knights, it's not going to get any easier, Joey. They start with Abdullah, then they've got Melvin Gordon in Wisconsin next. Wisconsin is beating Maryland right now 45-0. And then after that, Indiana, another terrific back, Tevin Coleman. And oh, by the way, let's end you to East Lansing on November 22nd.
Yeah, if you wanted to find out what Big Ten football is all about, Rutgers is about to. You talk about the running backs that they're about to face, the high-powered running games. I mean, they're really going to find out what's like in this first season.
It was a little different for Nebraska when they joined the league. They still picked up a nice win. The first Big Ten victory was against the Buckeyes of Ohio State. And then earlier this year for Rutgers, it was a home win. Big night for them, beating Michigan. Tremendous emotion there. We've been to both places. We've been to Rutgers, we've been to Maryland. They're so excited to be a part of the Big Ten. Their fan bases are just itching for big games and big playmakers at those two schools, and they will certainly have some opportunities to do that. Of course, for some of the other teams around the conference right now, Joey, they are concerned first and foremost about getting the job done week in and week out and making sure that they are one of the teams late in the season that is in the discussion for the college football playoff. The selection committee gets together for the first time on Monday and Tuesday, and we will take a look at that first top 25 rankings coming up on Tuesday night.
And I think this is the week that everybody's been waiting on. You know, all of us so-called experts have been putting out our top 4s and our top 25s all along, which really don't mean anything at all. We're going off of some of the rankings that are out there. So now, finally, this feels like this is the week that the season begins. Now we get to find out who we're talking about, who's really is in that top 4. And we keep hearing about this SEC West dominance. We're going to find out on Tuesday. Is that a true thing, or is that just something that people are talking about? And I think a team like Florida State and what they've done, they absolutely deserve to still be on top of that list. But the other three will be interesting to see what they come out with.
A healthy dose here of Newby. And he'll pick up the first down. The committee is down a man. Archie Manning has taken a leave so he can get some personal issues, some health issues attended to. Jeff Long is the committee chair. Barry Alvarez is another Big Ten guy. Of course, here, Tom Osborne, the former coach and the AD, he's a member of that committee. You've also got a former commissioner and Mike Tranghese, a former Secretary of State in Condi Rice. Steve Weiberg is a media representative. They will get together down in Dallas on Monday and Tuesday and knock out that top 25, which will become the rankings that we will use moving forward. And it all builds up to the announcement of the teams that will be in the playoff in early December, and that we'll also find out what the matchups are for the New Year's 6 bowl games. There'll be 3 games on New Year's Eve, 3 games on New Year's Day. Going to be great couch time, or if you prefer, great opportunity to get out and watch some live college football playoff style in December and January. And there is the standing ovation. Kenny Bell checks out. Their career receptions leader now, passing Nate Swift. Trying to take care of the final seconds of this one. Nebraska 42-24. Tommy Armstrong ran for a touchdown. He threw for a couple of more. Amir Abdullah rushed for 3 TDs. Randy Gregory was disruptive on the defensive side, including a blocked kick today. 455 yards of total offense for the Husker attack. And the handshake midfield, 42-24. The final coming up next on ESPN2. It's Oregon State and Stanford. And we'll also spend time with College Football Scoreboard in the studio, presented by Honda. Along with Joey Galloway, Paul Carcaterra, and our entire crew, I'm Beth Mowens. Thanks for being with us here at Memorial Stadium. Here's Chris and the guys now. College Football Scoreboard coming up.